Hey, welcome back to episode Saran Podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and as always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hey, bud. How's it going?
Good, man. It's going okay. How's it going for you?
Look, man, I went a little fucking crazy today. We're going to talk about Eden Zero.
Yes.
And I don't have much positive stuff to say about it.
We got plenty of stuff to say about it, though.
I would have stopped watching it immediately if it was my choice. But we're doing this for you guys, so...
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Don't watch it. We'll talk about why later.
Yeah, don't watch it.
But how have you been, man? What's your week been like?
Okay.
You're a little sick.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Maybe you can hear it over the mic. Sorry about that.
Too much, fortunately. So.
Yeah, I've gotten better. But yes, we are not recording in person again this week. We're also not doing the stream because over the weekend I acquired a new illness. I'm hoping it's just a cold. I think it's just a cold. Like, I'm not in this day and age, everything becomes a concern. You're like, oh my God, am I losing my sense of taste and stuff like that? Shit like to scare you.
With you, man.
But to be on the safe side, like, I let you know, like, hey man, I'm not feeling well. Let's just do it over the old computer again. And you're like, yeah, sure, dude, for sure. Thanks for not coming to my house and making me sick. So, like, yeah.
And especially since you're about to go on your honeymoon here.
Yeah, well,
which is fucking crazy.
In a couple weeks, yeah.
In a couple of weeks, but it's good that you got sick now because that means that Sierra might be getting sick in like a day or two.
Yeah, for sure.
Who knows? Yeah. And then you guys will both have it just done with, and you get to go to Hawaii.
Yeah, and we'll get Hawaii sick instead. Yeah. So because of being sick, honestly, this week has been just kind of a meh thing. Just being really tired, super whiny. I am such a bitch when I get sick. Like, everything's just such an inconvenience. I just like hating everything. I complain all the time. I don't know how Sierra puts up with me. It's been a long time since the last time I got sick, which was probably like a year and a half ago. But like, this is different. This is the first time where I've gotten sick and like my eyes are irritated, and I'm just like crying, like tears just streaming down my face, and it's just like I don't know what's going on. So it's different. Cold out there's evolved, and it's made me cry a bunch. So maybe I'm just become a softer human being. I don't fucking know.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
But yeah, so because of being sick, besides Eden Zero, I didn't really watch any other anime. I did watch another show, and I'll talk about it later. But it wasn't my choice. So this week was super just boring. I had to skip my class on Monday because I just wasn't feeling it. And I mean, I've been having to animate a bunch. Because like my class is closely like wrapping up. I think I have this week ends, like this school week ends on Thursday, which is tomorrow from, when we record. And then I have 2 weeks more, and those are my polish weeks where I'm allowed to resubmit all my other assignments to kind of get the grades up to make sure I reach the right amount of, percentage to pass the class and stuff. So it's like, it's really kind of getting near crunch time. So I'm hoping I get better before those polish weeks. But I do feel better. I'm really glad, I guess, like in a weird way, I'm glad I didn't get sick in the middle of like a polish week. And it's like, I wouldn't have been able to do much work.
That would be rough. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like, it's frustrating because of being like sick. I remember like sitting downstairs, I think yesterday or today, I think it was yesterday, but I was just like sitting there and I go, I have to go upstairs and work. And I was just like, I don't want to. And it's like really just like having to force myself to physically move. I was like, oh my God, this is the worst. But yes, being sick sucks. It's okay. Getting better. While I was sick, the day I skipped class because I wasn't feeling good, Sierra decided to watch the Pride and Prejudice BBC TV adaptation.
Last night?
Okay. No. 2 nights ago, because she watched it again today.
Oh, that's what it. Yeah, it was like, I don't know when it was posted. She posted some shit, and I was like, "Is that Pride?"
Maybe that was even yesterday. She posted. I think it was yesterday.
So what's up with that?
So I mean, it's something that I've seen before. She's made me watch it. She loves Pride and Prejudice, especially this BBC miniseries. It's 6 episodes long. I think an episode's like an hour long, maybe like that, maybe 45 minutes. But it's got Colin Firth, and it's like really popular amongst like women especially women from the 90s, like they love this shit. Like when they think of Pride and Prejudice, they think of him. And I was like, yeah, like I said, I remember I watched it with her years ago, like when we were dating, because she's like, oh, it's something I really like. It's like, okay, we'll do something you want to do. I didn't hate it. It's fine. It's whatever. But being sick made me just hate everything that was going on. So I'm just like laying on the ground downstairs because it's cooler downstairs than upstairs. And I'm just like complaining and being like, why is he being such a bitch? Juan was like, seriously, like, shut up, Juan. I was like, I can't help it. He's being a bitch. And
bitch, man.
I was just like floating in and out of consciousness, like in like a fever induced like sleep. So I was just like waking up to like old timey people talking, and we made it through like 5 of the 6 episodes, and Sarah's just like, okay, I'm gonna save the 6th episode for tomorrow. And I was like, fuck, I really want to see how this shit ends, even though I know how it ends. But that's I think like the only piece of media that isn't Eden Zero that I might have consumed this week, besides podcasts and stuff.
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
would recommend. Oh, what's funny though is like we watched, I think it was Monday, we watched Pride and Prejudice, that show, the miniseries, and then there's a podcast I like called Book Cheat, where a comedian, he reads a book, and then every 2 weeks he like invites other guests and he does like a book report, and he's just like, hey, essentially the conceit of the podcast is like, I'll read the book so you don't have to, I'll just tell you what happens,
Yeah.
And on Tuesday I wake up to 2 texts. I woke up around like 9 or 10. One of the texts is from Sierra at 4 a.m. because Sierra had to wake up early, and it was just like, oh my god, you'll never guess what this episode of Book Cheat is. So I was like, and then her next text was like at 8 o'clock about something else. But then like I go to my phone and like I go to see it, and it's like Pride and Prejudice. Like, oh my fucking god, I can't believe this. And Sierra's like, I fucking knew it. I just felt it in my bones that it was gonna happen. So I was very versed with what was going on. Like he's talking about it, I go, I remember that. Even though I didn't read the book, it's pretty good. I mean, like the miniseries is pretty spot on. Yeah, so that was that. Another huge thing that happened to me this week. Actually, my birthday's on Friday. Shout out to Future Juan.
You getting Pride and Prejudice this week.
Oh yeah,
I did
I absolutely did. But so yeah, fun. Friday.
Yeah, dude, it's birthday time. So what's the plan?
Friday's my birthday. My biggest concern was I kept forgetting that I need to renew my license for like weeks.
I've been there, dude. I have been there.
And so I got around to it sometime in August, and then they said, hey, BT Dubs, you wait anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks for your license. And I did the math. I go, shit, this might get to me after my shit expires, kind of thing.
Don't worry about it, because essentially what they do is they just run it, and they're like, oh, you have another one in the mail? All right, you're cool.
No, but I was just like, oh my god, I don't want to get pulled over. I don't want this to be an issue or whatever, like, or go buy a drink or something, or like,
Yeah, they do some. They like hole punch your license as well, and
do
then they like, yeah, I think that's what they do.
I don't know. I've never had to have that happen to me.
Well, no, I mean when you go in and get your picture taken.
Oh no. One. I didn't have to take a photo. They just renewed
what?
It. Like, yeah, just online, dude. Just fucking renewed it.
I mean, I guess it's because COVID stuff. So
maybe,
cool.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So I renewed it online, like I said, and they said, hey, 3 to 4 weeks. And I was like, okay. And I did, like I said, did the math, and it would have been here after my birthday. So I was like, fuck. And just because I was having like some rotten luck, and Sierra's been having rotten luck with like the mail also, I was just like, watch my shit not get here on time. But my new driver's license did come in, and it looks different. Like they changed the font of California. It looks really fucking cheap, in my opinion. Like I don't know. I feel like the
hang
font...
on. Hey, this is important. So in California, they have a thing where when you are under 21 years old, they have your license horizontally portrait. Yeah. Then they change it at a certain point.
No, it's vertical. So it's vertical when you're young, when you're a minor.
You had it as vertical, and then it switched to being horizontal.
Yeah.
And now they've changed the horizontal one again.
Did they?
Is that what you're telling me? That's what I'm asking.
No.
So you're getting used to the horizontal now.
No. I've always okay. So here it is. So when I turned 18, I had my horizontal one. Mm-hmm. No. You know what? I don't think I ever had that. Did I? Because I didn't get my driver's license until I was 18. Oh, they do, because you have to be 21 to have it be the right this way, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to.
Okay, so it was I had it vertically, and then that expired, and then I've had this is my third license. So my second license was already horizontal, and this one is just like I renewed it, and it's just the same license, but like the font at the top is changed. They changed some like decal stuff.
That's
what
I was making sure.
But it's still like looks the same. But I just hate the new font. Looks like, I don't know. Remember how like when you used to like open Microsoft Word and it used to be like Times New Roman was like the built-in like
the default,
and now it's something else. Now it's like something with the C.
I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about. It's a different one though. It's like the new default.
I don't use it, but I used to at my old job. Yeah,
the new default. I think they use it because it technically uses less ink than Times New Roman or whatever. But that's what this feels like. It feels like they just like, oh, cool, we're not going to use the Times New Roman. We're using this new fucking Comic Sans fucking shit or whatever. But yeah, driver's license came in. Pumped about that. I was one thing I was like worried about. It feels like such a boring week. Lastly, watched the challenge this week. My team did okay. Still, my team is still in first place. By an okay,
so that's good.
Yeah, by an okay margin. Like,
but you know, your team did okay, which is great for you since you're already doing great.
Yeah. Sierra's team's catching up. Like, she's doing pretty good. Something that happened this week is like, so a rule is the only way for us to like, for me to like to keep the things, because I'm the commissioner, keep things straight. It's like, hey, I'm not gonna like, you know, accept your lineup over the phone or anything. You have to email it in, and that's how we'll like
you talked about that last week, right?
Yeah. And then the thing is, it has to be emailed in 6:00 on Wednesdays by then, because the show airs at 8. So it's like, okay, cool, I'll give you up until then. For the first 3 weeks, I've told Jero and Stephanie, I've texted a group text them like, hey guys, don't forget to set up your lineup every Wednesday. And they go, okay, cool, thanks. But after 3 weeks, it's like, you know what? I'm not going to tell them anymore, because it's not my responsibility.
They agreed to be a part of it.
We're playing a game, you know, like, and like me,
that's part of the game.
Me, you know, telling them this is giving them an advantage that Sierra doesn't have, because Sierra has to do it by herself. She has to know when to do shit, but Sierra's always on top of it. So like, you know what? This week, not going to email them. That's on them. Also, I'm sick. So like, so I'm also super petty. It's like, fuck it. I'm not in a good mood. I'm not emailing, texting anybody. And like, I think I look at my email. It's like 5:30. They got like 30 minutes left. Like, nothing has been submitted. 6:00. I look at 6:07. I look again. It's like nothing was submitted. So then I text you like, hey, just want to let you know you didn't get your thing in on time this week. If you don't get your lineup on time, you just had to play last week's lineup, like that, just by default, right? So if someone that you played last week went home, you actually get a player that doesn't make any points, A new thing we added this season was a super flex, which is like a player that only accumulates points for like having camera time and getting like confessionals. But a rule I made is like, so you can't spam the same like person. Every week that person has to change. Okay. And since they played him last week and that they play him again this week, that player doesn't get to play. And so then like that, so Jero's like brought me up on that. I was like, hey man, those are the rules. Like, you knew the rules. Like, it is what it is. And he's just like, yeah, I fucked up. It's like, hey man, like, you said you were gonna take this serious, and you said like you knew you were gonna win, and like if you're gonna win, you got to do better, because I'm not gonna hold your hand anymore. I did it for 3 weeks. I feel like this is on you, because there's money involved. So, and I want that fucking money, bro.
Yeah, like if you're gonna get invested in something that you're paying for,
yeah, that's on you.
Pay more attention. Yeah.
So it was rough. It felt bad, but I was like, you know what? It's fair. Also, like earlier, I think from last week's scoring, like Jero hit me up and said, hey man, why did your player score these points? And I was like, okay, let's talk about it. And I told him like why I thought my player was like warranted those points. And he goes like, well, what about this? I was like, you know what? You make a good point. I'll take those points away from my player, but you do have to know that moving forward, just kind of like, I don't know, like what are they called? Like the Supreme Court, like, if they rule in favor of something from here on out, that's going to come up in the future, essentially. So like if you or Steph tries to score points the way I did for this specific thing, I'm going to be like, hey, remember week 2 when this happened? Like, they don't count because of the, he's like, yep, that's fair. I was like, cool. As long as we're all like on the same, page that anybody can question anybody else's points, but there has to be discussion, and there has to be like agreement at the end of the day. So because it's just for fun, but like I do want it to try to be as fair as possible. And some would say that, hey, oh, you're winning and you're in charge of it. That's kind of suspicious. Like, I mean, I'm trying to be as fair as I can be, so yeah. So yeah, that's it, man. That's
I mean, I think it's a little tough since you are so well versed, but that's on them for getting involved. You know?
No one forced them to play. They said they wanted to play, and I was like, okay.
Hey, exactly. That's you don't have to feel bad about it at all, man.
No, I was like, you understand that Sierra and I take this stupid game very seriously, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we're gonna win. I was like, okay, you fucking fools. Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's my week, dude. The challenge talk done. Driver's license done. Animation done. Pride and Prejudice done. Sick. Working on it.
Dude, you had a very mellow week, and I'm glad.
Yeah, man. Tell me about your week. Tell me about excite me with your exciting week, because my shit sucked.
I only got one exciting thing, so I do apologize for that. But
all right.
This last week, I really haven't been up to much. Who would have thought again?
Dude, that's like 4 weeks in a row.
I know, but no, I do have I have some stuff. Today, I got a phone call from my old job offering me a position, and they want me to call back tomorrow to let them know if I want one. I didn't pick up, so I just listened to the answering machine because I was like, it's like 5. They're going home right now. What's going on? And
what's the position?
They didn't say, but I did ask a coworker. I was like, are people quitting? What's going on? An old coworker of mine. And he was like, no, people aren't quitting or anything. And I was like, okay, is there still this position available? And then he was like, yeah, they haven't hired anybody for that yet. I'm like, what the fuck? Why not? They should have hired somebody by now. Mm-hmm. No way. I'm not taking any kind of job. They haven't learned anything. Like, they need to promote within.
Is it still an assistant manager thing or?
No. So I would be going in as a training manager. So I would just train people how to do their job and do whatever else happens at the main office. You kind of just get filled into all these positions.
Yeah.
I saw training managers take that job and pretty quickly go, I don't have time to train you. I'm just like, what the fuck is the point of that?
I'm busy with all the other stuff.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm only out here for an hour today. She's like, why? Why are you only here for an hour? Like, I need more attention than that right now.
Who was the last person that did that?
We've had a couple, but it's mostly... So the people that have had that position have had to fill positions higher up. Mm-hmm. They haven't hired anybody to fill that position. But like, while they were waiting to fill the higher up position, I was at a point where I was like, you know what? I could take the training manager job. Like, if they hired the person in that current training manager job to do the assistant to general manager job that she's already doing, mm-hmm. then I could just take the training position and I would be fine. And then they waited around for 2 months. And then I was like, okay, I'll give a month notice. Mm-hmm. And then they still didn't. Like, when I gave that notice, they were like, well, there might be a job available soon in the future. And then they didn't announce that position was available while I was still at the company.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
So now I think they're calling to offer me that job.
So you're not going to take it?
No, I'm not going to take it. No way. I want to work for a company that actually knows what the hell's going on, so I could feel like I'm fully utilized and respected. Because that was something
Amazon, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. That was something that was very much lacking at my last job. Is just I would try to bring things to the team, they wouldn't listen, and then they would take the idea later on. And that happened to other people too. And there were other times where they just didn't do anything, and there was never a solution, and they just didn't want to take whatever. Fuck it.
Hey, I got a question. I guess I haven't paid attention to, the times that I've gone over since, we've started hanging out again. Did they take that plaque off your door?
I took it off, yeah.
But there was a plaque, right? There used to be a plaque on your door?
Yeah. You say if there's an emergency, like, this is the phone number to call.
Oh, right. Okay. So did they just... What did you do with the... Did you give it to them, or did you just have it?
No, yeah, it's a company thing, so I just took it off and the next manager put it on their door.
Okay, so okay. I just didn't know if like it was just like, oh, I just got rid of it, because knowing them, there's like, yeah, whatever, who cares?
Well, at first they were like, "Do you want your name to be on it?" And I was like, "No, I don't want my name to be on it." Like,
yeah,
I don't want anything identifiable. Here. Yeah, like whatever. Yeah. So it's a generic one. So anybody can use it.
Okay.
A lot of the things that I did was thinking ahead like that. Like, I don't need my name on it. That's bad for me. It doesn't do anything to help the other person out. It's not going to help knowing my name. It'll just make me more uncomfortable. Why would I want that? We could reuse this in the future. Yeah. Anyways.
That's what you get for being a thinker.
Yeah, I shouldn't have thought. Whatever. But, they called me today. So that was exciting to be like, what the fuck? And just talk to a couple of old coworkers. Like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
So yeah, tomorrow I'm going to have to call and be like, nah, sorry, dog.
Nah, no thank you.
So, whoops it is. But then, on Sunday, I went to go visit Kate and Abe. So that was a nice day.
Oh, cool, dude. How'd you do? How'd it go?
We just did a big chill. Played some games, watched some stuff, hung out, talked.
Yeah, they got a new place. Yeah. They were telling me about.
Yeah, it's interesting. So one of Abe's coworkers had this house, and then she built a lot of stuff and added onto it and did like a lot of things herself. It's got some funky layout things going on. It's got a lot of weird stuff. I was like, hey, have you guys seen your roof? They were like, no, what are you talking about? I'm like, okay, I'm just looking at the AC, because there's an AC unit mounted on top of the house, which is fine. Mm-hmm. But then there are 2 extra long tubes that are just going into the additions to the house that they put on because they didn't have any central heating and air on those, but they didn't know how to like add on to their current HVAC system and like put that all throughout the walls and shit. Yeah. I don't know. It was just really funny for me to be outside and be like, yeah, you just got a bunch of metal shit all over your roof. So, that was one thing. They've got some fucked up stairs that are crazy. She's got a bunch of stuff stored in the back. And by stuff, I mean like old ass furniture and like plywood and a cement mixer and just like weird stuff. That she says she's going to pick up, but still hasn't. She's got like a locked off room in the house that they're not allowed to do. The bathroom has a shower stall, and it also has a bathtub that has a shower in it.
Whoa! Okay.
Right next to each other for no reason. Just a weird little thing. A lot of stuff is a little janky. The light fixtures don't have covers. The garage door has a padlock on, like leading to the garage from the kitchen, has a padlock on it, but it's a really flimsy piece of metal on the door, so it would break off from the door more easily than the padlock would keep it together and lock people out if they really wanted in.
Hey, sorry, Kate and Abe, for just like describing your place. We have nothing else to talk about this week.
Well, no, it was fascinating to me. They are like, what the fuck? They love showing it off because it's like, what the fuck? And it is very bizarre.
But the rent is, what a great deal.
So there's a missing key for a lock that if it's put in, then you just lock one of the doors and you can't unlock it. So you can't push that lock in. What other weird shit? I'm trying to remember all the stuff that they told me, but I think that's everything. Initially, I was like, the place looks pretty nice. Oh yeah, the granite countertops don't even reach like all the way to the sides. There's like big open gaps. The granite's not all one piece, but it's also not like put together correctly. So there are different shades and different like cuts. It just doesn't go together well at all. It turns out their oven is like a really expensive, super nice oven, but it's too big for that kitchen. And realistically, anything that you do with that oven isn't gonna be that much more special than like a regular oven. It's just what's there. And it makes it so it's really difficult for them to get into the garage. Their cabinets are way too deep. so it's hard for you to reach all the way into the back of them just because they're so deep. Just weird stuff. It was fascinating. And I was trying to like rationalize all of it as I'm going through. I'm like, okay, yeah. They're like, yeah, we actually have only one outlet in the kitchen, and it's that one over there. And then we have another one that we found that is inside of our cabinets, like over here for some reason. When they got the place, the internet was inside of their wall. She purposefully put the cable inside the wall and patched it up and sealed it and painted over it. So
no one could ever get to it again.
Yeah. So that was something. Just like so bizarre. It was wild. But yeah, we just kind of hung out and watched watched YouTube and played video games and talked and stuff.
That's cool.
Abe showed me that Kirby game that you played that one time.
The
free to play one on the Switch.
Yeah. I like that game.
Yeah, the Kirby game that you played that one time. Yeah, so we played a little bit of that, and it was kind of fun. I was surprised at how complicated the controls were for like one character, but then all the other ones were pretty normal and straightforward.
Yeah, for sure.
But I just happened to be playing the one that had like a bunch of controls. I'm like, wait, so I hold down B and then I cancel out of it and then I do it again and then I could do that and then I have just like couldn't figure everything out, and the instructions weren't in the game because it's like if you play as player one, it tells you the instructions for that character, but if you're playing as any of the other controllers, then you're not allowed to look at anything. You're a little addition. You're pretty much an NPC.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
that was a cool little game. I actually like the idea of it a lot. It does have that like mobile game feel to it since it is free to play.
Yeah.
And that's not always a bad thing. That could be very good because it does entice you to play more and more. So it gives you a little bit of satisfaction here and there. I'm into it. It was fun. And speaking of free to play games, I'm done with Pokemon Unite. I think that it's a really fun game. It's got a lot of really good things in it. However, it's hard to keep playing a game where you get such inconsistent experiences between having an amazing team that does everything absolutely right to having a team where two people go AFK out of spite because you wouldn't forfeit the game when the enemy team killed them when they were doing some stuff that they should not have been doing. Like, it's just crazy things kept happening every game, and I'm like, I'm not having fun anymore.
Also, like why would you ever forfeit like a 10-minute game? Like, it's 10 minutes.
It makes no sense. It makes sense at a certain point because it's like, oh, we literally can't win. Okay, let's just forfeit, give them the win, and then we'll be back in it, and we cut out a minute and a half or whatever, how much time is left, a minute, 30 seconds. You're cutting out a little bit of time, more time to play more games. But yeah, man, I was not having the best time anymore. It was a slog, getting too frustrated by the inconsistency, so I deleted it. But I was doing great and having a lot of fun. I do really like a lot of things that they did in that game, but the lack of communication is too detrimental to me, I think.
This just gives you more time to go back and play that Monster Hunter game you like so much.
It literally is, though, because they're coming out with an update that I'm really interested in. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot this game keeps getting updates because it's so fucking huge. So now I'll play more Monster Hunter stories too. Links of Ruin. Sure. Yeah.
It all works out, man.
It'll be good. Phasmophobia had an update, so that was a lot of fun. Got together a couple of homies a couple of times, and we were able to experience some new stuff. Now they've increased the like graphical capacity of
so it looks nicer.
Everything. Yeah. So the characters still look janky as hell, which I really appreciate. The houses still look pretty janked up, which is also fine. But like all of the equipment that you have looks really high quality and looks really solid. So they clearly are putting an emphasis on better graphics that have less storage space. So somehow they're better optimized than the old ones. Anyways, they redid the walking too, so it's a little scarier. You could walk faster than you used to be able to, but now you also can run, and then you run out of breath. So it's pretty solid. I'm glad that they added that. And all the ghosts are different now. They like talk to you with their own kinds of voices in different ways, and they just do different things than they used to. So it's a lot freakier.
Doesn't that make it easier to guess like what it is though?
No. So all the ghosts, depending on what model they have different stuff. But depending on what kind of ghost it is just based off of evidence that you find.
Okay.
So,
makes sense.
Yeah, you get like the little girl model. It'll sound like a little girl, but then it could be anything from a demon to a spirit, you know? But it's a lot of fun. They added a lot of super freaky things in the update where like you'll be hiding, and when the ghost is looking for you, it used to just kind of like thump around, which was freaky. And then it would grab you and a whole bunch of music and shit would play. But now they did it where it goes around like groaning and moaning and making wet gurgling sounds, and it's disturbing. It's great. I'm super happy that they decided to make it even scarier.
It's like some real attention to detail, you know?
Yeah, man, it was great. So we had a blast playing it. It's always so much fun. I love that game. I always forget about how much fun it is, but it's just kind of like hanging out, but you're doing something that you're all relatively familiar with, and you're just kind of vibing, doing whatever. They added a new piece of evidence, which was terrifying, but then immediately became comical. There's a thing called a dots projector, and what it does is project dots all over the room. It's got all these like green lights that shoot out, and apparently that can interact with ghosts. If you use a camera and film that, if a ghost goes through it, you can see them. But the way that this works instead is if a ghost goes through it, it's not actually a ghost. It's just the evidence doing its thing, which is like a separate entity, I guess, in the game than ghosts. So the evidence is just this ghost like going by really fast, and it's super freaky when you first see it. And then you see it a second time, and it just looks like a naked dude just like running across the screen super fast, going like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. It looks so goofy. Watching it run full speed straight through a wall. I don't know, man. It got really fun. So yeah, they've added some good stuff. It was very, very enjoyable. And tomorrow they've added stuff. Actually, sorry, I take that back. Yesterday they added stuff to Fall Guys, and tomorrow I'm going to play some of that. So
oh, cool. That's what's
looking forward to it. Yeah, they added on. Do you remember Block Party, the level in Fall Guys where it would just be a bunch of things that tried to push people off? Yeah, so they added variations to that. To now you have to go upstairs and like jump over stuff as the platforms keep moving back, or you take narrow pathways that you could barely see if you accidentally fall off and take the underneath paths. So you still have a chance, but it's harder. It looks really cool. It looks fun. And then they've added, for the first time since the beginning of the game released, they've added a second logic map. The first one is...
Oh, yeah. That's the remember the fruit?
First one is you look on the screen, it tells you a fruit, and then you have to find the tile that used to have the fruit on it. Now it's, okay, we're dropping fruit from the sky. Count all the fruit, memorize what fruit there are, and then, oh, the slime's going to rise. Everybody jump up onto these platforms going off the ramp, and now that you're on the platforms, how many of... or what fruit was there two of? And then you have to like go to that one. It looks like it's pretty interesting. It looks very similar to the old one, but better to me, because they've also changed the old one to where you just memorize the fruit, but now there's a bar constantly spinning in the middle that could also knock you off.
Yeah.
Which is very hard because you're paying attention to a lot of things at once on that. And most people wind up dying on that one. Pretty solid hard variation, but the logic part of it's not any harder necessarily. It's just that now you're doing two separate things at the same time. I don't know. I would have liked some kind of an other variance on it.
There's a logic game though. That's kind of huge though.
It's huge to me, man. I'm like, what the fuck?
For a super long time, I'd be like, cool, it's going to be a race or it's going to be an
Yeah.
elimination. It's just like, this one's a logic. Are there any other logics? No. Okay.
So it's always been like, why do you call it logic then? Like, who gives a shit? This is just as much survival as another survival one.
Yeah,
especially when you put in the spinning beam. Like, but it's still logic. Okay, whatever. But now it's actually, new logic level. Pretty stoked. Pretty stoked about that, man. I'm just always about being stoked. Let's be.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair. It's a fair way to feel stoked.
I'm one of the stokedest dudes I know. That's for sure. And I still have been watching some Adventure Time. You remember how I told you there's a whole storyline where Marceline gets Metroided? Well,
yes.
Now it turns out that each season is just like new storylines like that, to where it focuses on one central plot point for like 7 to 8 episodes. It changes up the intro. There's like a big ass new thing going on. So after Marceline, it became, where are all the humans? And then they kind of figure out where the humans are in some kind of capacity, and they take off on a journey to do that. So it's Susan Strong, the mutant person from down below. She's actually human. She didn't have gills, but everybody else had gills. I think that's the reveal at the end of that episode. Whatever.
Yeah, where like she puts Fid's like arms underneath her cat hat. Yeah, and he just goes, and she's just like, she doesn't say anything, but you go, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, at a certain point, they revealed that on the side of her head that is shaved, she has like a chip in it. Mm-hmm. So then it turns out that chip has coordinates to where she's from, where other humans are from. So they go out on an adventure and check out that. It was a little bit emotional, you know. It's got some stuff about Finn's whole backstory, where he actually came from, all that. So that was pretty cool. And of course, Susan's as well. Susan's an interesting character who... One thing that this show is doing, which is fucking cracking me up, and I already kind of talked about it, I think, is the first half of Adventure Time was a bunch of weird shit, a bunch of funny things, some serious character building stuff here and there, but mostly it was just weird shit. And then the second half of Adventure Time has been, all right, we're explaining all that weird shit from before, and we're making it like all the other stuff that you guys liked, the emotional parts. Mm-hmm. So they're just like backtracking on everything. Princess Bubblegum being named Bonnie. Now Susan Strong's named Kara. And like Finn is no longer just Finn the human. He has his actual last name. I don't remember what it is. Something with an M. There's like a lot of stuff that you just keep learning about it, and it keeps growing the universe. So now we're on to, I don't know what actual season it is, but Hulu's season 9, which is the Elementals story arc. So when they went off on that human adventure, when they came back, the entire island of Oo, or land of Oo, I guess, is just fucked. It's got tons of things wrong with all the different elements. You know, ice, fire, slime, and candy. So it's
the classic elements.
The elements. Yeah. So it's split off into 4 different sections of the world, and they're all fucked up from all the different elements that they had in those areas. And one of the good people who's helping out is Ice King, who's just like, yeah, they all started doing crazy stuff, and I'm just up in the clouds with my cloud hook, hooking people that need help. And it's only been like Finn. So yeah, anyways, they're trying to save the lands from the elementals that are supposed to help control them. Pretty cool show, man. It's weird that they bred so much life into something that was so ridiculous, just like a short of a little kid and his dog walking through a weird like plains type area, just being like, bro, mathematic, that's triangular, let's go to Mars. What's up, President Lincoln? And Abraham Lincoln shoots lasers, and you're like, yeah, that was fun, that was goofy, I want some more weird shit like that. And now it's just this emotional roller coaster. It's pretty fun. when you're just like watching it, like, this is goofy, and then 5 minutes later, tears in
You're
your
like
eyes.
crying. You're like,
yeah. You're like, man, that fucking sucks. I feel a little bad now. Oh, you guys didn't need to make it so real. It's been a lot of fun to watch.
Well, but you still don't know how much you got left, though, right? Because you're like purposely avoiding.
Yeah, I want to just keep going, and then once it's done, I'll be like, HBO, here I come.
Yeah, that's what you've earned.
Yeah, well, today, I'm saying today, and then I'm immediately looking it up. I think that they released the new season of post Adventure Time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't remember the name of the show though, because they're all like about different sets of characters, you know?
Right. Doesn't BMO have a bit, I think?
Yeah, there's like a Bubblegum Marceline, there's a BMO, there's a Finn and Jake, and now there's a new one that I don't know. I honestly how to find anything on HBO Max. I won't even lie, man. But Wizard City, that's what it is. Adventure Time Distant Lands Wizard City came out today, I think. Yeah. Anyways, it's crazy to me that they just keep adding different stuff. Oh, now I understand. These are different short episodes. Gotcha. So they're not different series. They are different like specials. BMO special, Obsidian, and Together Again are the ones that are out.
And then you said the Wizard City just came out?
It's supposed to just come out, I think. I'm looking at it, but I'm not seeing the episode. Fuck it. We'll see it eventually. Who gives a shit? I don't. And that's, I guess, all that I've been up to this week. I've been doing some stuff, not a whole lot, but I've been having fun with everything that I have done.
Yeah, man. That does
Except
sound...
for Pokemon, which I deleted. Okay, yeah.
That sounds like a pretty exciting week compared to my just being sick and bitching the entire week.
It was mellow.
You want to tell me about some of the anime you watched without spoiling anything too big, because I'm behind?
So here's the thing, man. Last week you said that you wanted to hear about Sonny Boy, even though you hadn't watched it. Yeah. And I was like, it might be over, so I don't want to spoil it. Clearly it's not over because I watched another episode, and there's going to be another one out tomorrow, and I'm stoked.
Oh, shit, yeah. Well, you did text me. You texted me, you're like, hey, man, it's not over. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Good to know.
So, episode 6 of the show is essentially just like, oh, yeah, we're talking about like metaphysics, and now there's a person that's actually a dog, or there's a dog that's a person that's also one of... This is going to be so, like, I'm going to say a lot of shit. I'm just going to say a lot of shit. So our main character, dude, he creates different worlds, and somehow students from the same class from different years have been transported to different worlds in some kind of a capacity. So that's why there keep being so many people.
Mm-hmm.
They aren't his classmates. They are they're from the same class from different years, and they all kind of just exist. And there are a lot of people that are like, it's all him, and it's easy to do because nobody knows him and whatnot. The teacher is actually not a teacher. Little secret for you there. When I say all these things, by the way, spoilers, but also no fucking clue what's going on. So don't worry too much still. They create this giant arc suddenly, where all of these people that are like, yeah, fuck you, we're going to find our own way out. We're not going to wait for you. You caused all our problems. They go on a giant arc, and then they all take off. So problem gone. No big deal. And then there's Science Man. Science Man's like, all right, guys, we're pretty much done. I think I'm going to take off here too. I'm going to make myself a boat, and I'm going to peace. So he does. And earlier in the episode, he was checking out some ants in a little like ant farm that he had. Mm-hmm. And then somebody asked like, well, what's going on? Like with the ant farm? Oh, I'm just kind of doing some observing and whatnot. He explains a little bit. He's like, yeah, And right now they don't have any food, so I'm wondering when they're going to turn and start eating each other. And whoever it was like, I don't like that. And they took the ants and ran away. And he was like crying because he didn't get to study them. So there's a little bit of fucked up stuff going on with the cool science guy wanting to observe these ants cannibalize each other just for the pure purpose of science, I guess.
Dude, it's science, bro. Like, come on, don't be weird about it, you know?
So, yeah, anyways, that whole ant situation is the spawn of the new world. So, our main dude goes into this new world, which is essentially just like a bunch of Sisyphus bullshit. Everybody is ants. It's clear they're all working together. There are different hierarchies and stuff. It's supposed to be like ants. But it also has some religious stuff going on. So they are all building stairs. They're taking these rocks from the top of the stairs, bringing them all the way to the bottom of the stairs to form new stairs so that they could climb to heaven. And our main character is like, hang on, why are we taking these from the top to the bottom if we're going up? And then the dude who's helping out is like, dude, don't worry about it. Like, that's just the way it's always been. That's how we do it. So the whole point of this episode is everybody that's doing this job, everybody that's trying to do whatever the fuck they've been doing for hundreds of years, they are doing it because they want to get to heaven. They want to get to heaven, and that's what they're told, and they don't know if it works, but they hope it does. Then our main character is more like a truth seeker. He is trying to just see what is actually going on and find out all the real things. So he's questioning everything the whole episode until he realizes, of course, that he's in another world and he can escape easily by just trusting himself. And he essentially just like jumps off to kill himself, but it reverses gravity. So he goes back to where he was before. So it has this whole element of, there are these people that are some kind of a higher power in this world that I don't know if they have any kind of connection to anything else, but all of the people that were there are all these new characters that are from the same class in different years, same situation going on, but nobody really knows it, but they're all dressed the same as each other. So of course he goes there and he looks like somebody else. And then we have a... This is where it gets to the like weird concepts, right? We've already figured out that characters can die and come back to life because that one guy got his head bashed in with a baseball bat and he came back to life about 10 minutes later. He was back up and running. So people can't die here, but people do sustain damage. They still feel damage, but then they're better. Again, with the like everything is burning situation, things just become better and heal and all that. And then... This episode, the guy helping him out dies, and then he's seen in the last scene, even though we're supposed to assume he's dead. We do see that he's alive again, and still working. So I guess every world that's created follows those same rules of you can't die. Mm-hmm. You can die, but you'll just come back, rather. You still feel the pain, you still experience the death, but you don't have the afterlife situation. You come back. So that's kind of the part of like the purgatory bit of it. And then we have a few different things about being an active observer, because if you're a part of something and you're observing it, this is one of the theoretical physics parts of this whole thing, this whole show. Mm-hmm. If you're observing something, but you're actively participating in it, you have influence just by observing it. So like if you're participating in something you're observing, you have so much control. So that's why we see our main character constantly being like, oh, here's another world. Oh, whatever. But even if he's just paying attention to what other people do, he's influencing how they do things and subconsciously changing what's going on if he is the one that's influencing the world. Then you also have like the scientist guy, where if he is constantly observing everything, is he going to be the impartial observer that doesn't have any effect on something like it seemed like he was doing in a way? Or is the fact that he wanted to see them cannibalize each other, is that showing that he actually is actively participating, whether he's aware of it or not, in his observations throughout everything, which means that he's influencing stuff as well, which like it doesn't really, the whole purpose of me talking about the observations of like what's going on and how it's being influenced is that I think that our character has some kind of a connection to the afterlife, to God, to heaven, to the creator in some way that we don't really understand. Thanks to this last episode and the one before it by getting metaphysical, there's a lot of weird shit that I don't quite understand yet, but I really do want to explore. Like, were they just worker ants, or is there more of a Sisyphus kind of story behind it where they're constantly carrying these rocks every single day for the rest of eternity? That's just their life. That's all that they can do. Is there a lesson in that you can question it and see the truth of it all? Or is it more like you just have to keep doing these actions because this is the world that I set up kind of thing, and I could change it because I'm the one that created it? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I don't understand, but those are the concepts that we're working with now, Juan.
This shit sounds crazy, dude. I just want to watch Monkey Baseball again. Like,
well, that's what it's been leading up to. I'm like, there's some interesting stuff going on. They're dropping hints here and there of weird shit. And finally, I'm like, is Nagara gonna be all good, man? Or is he like an angel descended and he doesn't know it? Or because they kept throwing that religious allegory into this episode. I am enthralled with it. I was surprised because as I was starting it, Kyle was like, time for this other weird show that nobody cares about. And I'm like, everyone cares. Like, this is the most talked about show of the season. It's got so much. What do you mean nobody cares about it? Have you not seen it? He's like, oh, I haven't seen anyone talking about it. I'm like, okay, well, people love this show. So
yeah, well, I don't know. It sounds insane.
It is.
I'm excited to catch up when I'm feeling better. But
they also outsourced that last episode to Cloverworks.
Oh shit!
Could be a good thing. Could be a bad thing. The good part about it is it means that they're not taking as much pressure at Madhouse. But the bad thing is maybe they were already taking a lot of pressure, and now
they needed help. Yeah. They're at that boiling point kind of thing. We're like,
so
fuck.
This is it's a big project. It's been really hard, and it's complicated. And I don't know how many people are going to be able to follow it too well. But man, it's doing so many things that I like. Where I'm just like, yeah, of course, yes,
yes.
And then afterwards, I have to go, all right, well, I gotta go look up online and make sure that my ideas are lining up more. Because I'm just like, the ants and Sisyphus, and that all makes sense, but what's the connection to God? And then,
Jesus.
Still don't really know, but there are a lot of theories out there. Other shows. I'm glad that you haven't seen it yet, but To Your Eternity is over now. Season 2 has been confirmed, so that's exciting.
Oh, man. The bummer is that now that it's over, season 2's coming out. I don't think we're gonna get Pink Blood anymore, though, dude.
Oh, that's okay. You know what? I just needed it for the season. That's okay. Next season, you gotta win me over, though.
I think I just need it always, bro. Like I can't fathom watching To Your Eternity and not.
What if she did another one? What if they brought her back?
No, it has to be Pink Blood.
You gotta let her do like simple and clean too.
We were talking about how bad, how great the One Punch Man intro for season 1 was, and then they came with season 2. You can't even remember it.
Yeah, well, that was a whole argument to be made about season 2 in general. Like, it was the same band, it was everything. But it also that the director wanted that team for the first intro. Like, he clearly knew what was going on and what he wanted out of it. And then for season 2, it's a different team, but it's the same people playing the music. Doesn't mean that the music's going to be as good because they don't have the same kind of inspiration and work. I don't know.
Maybe I just don't watch season 2. Maybe it's just the only solution.
We'll see. I don't know,
have to see. Yeah,
maybe they'll keep Pink Blood, but probably I'm hoping they'll get a different intro that it'll do the same thing that Attack on Titan always does with me, where I'm like, fucking sucks. And then 3 episodes later, I'm like, give me more. I need that intro. Yeah. So who knows? But yeah, it's over. So big excitement. My Hero Academia, we're still doing the villain shit. And what happened last episode? They're all getting their like power-ups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're getting stronger.
There's like, I think that I can do stronger things now. Yeah, so that's exciting. Trying to think of anime is so hard. Sometimes, dude.
The aquarium show.
Yeah, the aquarium show. Still an aquarium show. This last episode didn't do anything special. It just kind of... It was the least magical aquarium of emotions episode so far, I think.
Damn.
Maybe
they're saving it for the finale.
They went to a hospital and they showed the kids animals from the aquarium, and then there was a whole thing with the crab that was pretty stupid. Everyone wants the aquarium to do good, is what it comes down to. Everyone loves this aquarium, but everyone's just like, yeah, it sucks you guys have to, close down forever. I've got some good memories there. Like, everybody keeps saying the same shit again and again. It's pretty frustrating.
What about, what was I going to say? Fucking Real Life, but in college, and they have sex and stuff. Yeah, Real Life, but in
college, and they have sex and stuff. It's at a point that I don't know what's going to happen, man.
Ooh, I got to that point where you're like, you don't like it anymore, or you're just like...
No, I just can't spoil it.
Oh, okay, good. Don't say nothing.
But, yeah, there's I mean, things are going good. Like, our main character knows what's going on, you know? He's the one making all the calls, and things are going well, but there's, an end of the episode that... might change some stuff. I don't really know. Yeah. I think there's like one more show, right?
That you watch?
Yeah, maybe that's all of them.
I think that's it. I don't think you watch anything else. I think you watch the one show on Funimation and then like all the other shit on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, just 4 on Crunchyroll. I still do plan on watching more of that pirate princess.
Oh yeah, the Princess Pirate show, yeah.
Yeah. But I haven't seen any more yet, so I'll get around to that more. Yeah, that was the last one that I was like, there's something else.
Mm-hmm.
That show. Anyways,
well,
I'll let you know more about it later. But I still liked the second episode more than the first.
Cool. Well, if you don't mind, why don't you give me some news, because I only watched Pride and Prejudice this week.
Well, man, I don't have your favorite news, but I have some news that I think you might like.
Drop it on me, bro.
How bad do you want it dropped?
I mean, like, moderate to, like, severe droppage.
All right, so here's some moderate droppage. Teasing Master Takagi-san, Season 3 and movie have been announced.
Holy shit. That's pretty big, dude.
You like that one?
Yeah, dude. I don't know if I can take any more, actually. Maybe we should just save the rest for next week.
You know what? This one might be a little bit more your speed. Netflix announced a new show titled Lady Napoleon. It's an anime original series that has 13 episodes.
Well, okay. I'm pretty stoked, though. It's Netflix, so, they never do anything bad.
Oh, yeah. No, never. The new season of 2 Year Eternity is going to come out in fall of 2022. Ooh. So we still have about a year and a half. Not a year and a half. We have like a year. Yeah. We're almost there until the next season, which is great. And finally, I actually don't know for sure what this name is because I've read 2 different sources. It's either Mieruko-chan or Miko-chan is going to start on October 3rd. This is a show that's essentially a slice of life about a girl that can see ghosts, but she pretends like she can't see them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it could be good. They are releasing it if they keep doing it every single week, they're releasing it October 3rd. By the end, it's going to be October 31st. So we might get a Halloween episode, which is fun for that kind of a show.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we'll have to watch it because that's what we do with this fucking podcast. That's how things work with us, Trip.
Oh, fuck. You got me, dude. Yeah,
Fucking
so look forward to that next month. I'm pretty excited, actually. I was like, I don't know why people care about this. And then I finally saw what it's about. And that's kind of appealing. I like the idea that a person can see ghosts but doesn't want to address them. Yeah. It's just like, nope, can't see you. Do
Not
your own
today.
thing. Nope.
I got
just gonna
homework.
Keep on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Whew, very busy.
I don't got time for this. Yeah.
So that could be fun. But who knows? Anime sucks half the time. So I guess it's time to talk about one of those halves that suck.
Yeah, let's fucking do it, dude. This week's topic.
Eden's Zero, made by JC Staff, who has a history that we don't like. One Punch Man Season 2.
One Punch Man, yeah.
That's the only one that I'm going to list here. Also Fairy Tail, but
They did, they also, hold on, I don't know when they did, didn't they also do Way of the House Husband? I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, I think they did.
And Backstreet Girls.
I think they did.
Yeah, fucking
Oh shit,
killer.
wait, no, I was wrong about Fairy Tail. I just totally guessed since their entire cast was the same. I forgot Fairy Tail's made by A1 Pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think Satellite as well. But no, Food Wars. JC Staff's done Food Wars. That's my go-to for JC Staff. I'm like Food Wars and One Punch Man Season 2. But yeah. Anyways. Eden Zero, the same director as Fairy Tail. The same characters as Fairy Tail. The same
creator, same manga creator, like the same dude.
Yeah, same manga creator. It's the same show.
That's really why we decided to pick this one. Fairy Tail's huge. We know that it has a huge following and people really like it and stuff. And I've known about the existence of Eden Zero for a while. I've never been interested to read it because it's a manga.
I fucking hate reading words.
But I do remember it being announced being turned into an anime, and I guess it was one of those that got held up in Netflix jail, and so they released the first half of what is season 1, which is 12 episodes, the other day, and I was like, Trip, this is out. We know it's has a popular person that did this other thing. We should do it. And I'm like, okay, we'll do it. Again, not knowing anything about this, you and I we're not very versed in Fairy Tail, right? That's fair to say, right?
I've heard some things about it.
I've heard an episode that you and Kate had about it, but
yeah, listen to that podcast if you want to hear somebody talk about Fairy Tail for probably a lot less time than Fairy Tail warrants.
Yeah, did you watch any Fairy Tail for that episode? I can't remember.
Nah, man.
No. So the amount of hours of Fairy Tail that you've logged in is probably 0, just like me.
Do you count ads?
I don't count ads, no.
0. Yeah,
0.
Solid 0.
Yeah, so we're not very versed. But there were things in this show where it's like, that character is for sure in this other show.
Yeah. As soon as it started up, I was like, okay, well, that character design looks like they could be in Fairy Tail.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after that, it was, that's literally a character from Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
Like 2 minutes later.
Which for people who have known about Eden Zero and for a while and know about Fairy Tail probably aren't as shocked, but because we're not too versed in it, we're like, this is fucking bogus. I do remember my friend Kyle telling me about it. But he blew my mind. He's like, because he read all of Fairy Tail, and then he's just like, hey man, do you know about Fairy Tail? I was like, not really. It's like, well, anyways, here's Eden Zero. Check this shit out. And he's just like, it's the same character. He's got the same name, and he's guns. I was like, what? And he had showed me this manga cover. And I was like, this is crazy.
There's a cat in Fairy Tail named Happy. Happy is also a character in Eden Zero, but they're a robot, and we learned that because they used to be alive, and we just see a shot of them dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see them as a robot, like, do you still love me? I'm a robot. And she's like, fuck yeah, I love you. You're my bro. I'm like, this is dark. These are the darkest themes.
Dude, wasn't there a really scary body horror where he's like, I can't feel anything. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
Like, great job with that. But that was the only time the show decided to do that. They were we're going to use some dark, interesting themes. Not just like violent, not just aggressive or anything. Just some like really existential shit.
They tried to do like other like dark themes with like, you know, another robot being tortured or whatever. But I was just like, this doesn't hit the mark as much as our boy Happy waking up being like, am I even alive?
Yeah. The other robot torture was like weird, but it was also like the dialogue for that part was bizarre, and the things the robot was saying and doing was weird. I don't know. Anyways, but it starts out and they give us that, and then Happy's a robot, and then right after we learn Happy's a robot, it's like, yeah, check this shit out. He turns into a dually pistols like combo. Yeah. What the fuck?
And to be clear, Happy being in Fairy Tail and Happy also being a character in this show isn't why we dislike Eden Zero.
No, like, not a deal breaker at all.
That's not why we're like, this is garbage. We just bring it up because it's really stupid. Like,
it is really dumb that the character that was in Fairy Tail now is Guns. Guns robot. Just so weird. But clearly not the reason that we don't like it. Even just if there was a character that was a cat that got killed, turned into a robot, and then Guns, that would also be fine. But the fact that it's from Fairy Tail makes it very, very, very strange.
Yeah, it's like the guy that wrote the manga that's like, God, I wish I had a really lovable side character for this other character.
Oh,
I don't think anybody will notice.
One.
Yeah, I'll just copy and paste, and you know what? I'll put his name as Happy as a placeholder, and then just never get around to it. He's like, fuck, I knew I forgot something. She needs weapons. Make him Guns. I don't know.
It's also not the same Happy, to be very clear.
No, it isn't. No, it's not.
There is a point where somebody's like, ha ha, Happy's dumb name. And Happy goes, Happy not dumb name. Owner named me Happy. You're mean. Owner gonna save Happy.
Yeah.
That was a dumb talk.
But Happy in this world is also, I'm assuming, like a species of aliens. Like, he's not just a cat. He's like a different race. Yeah. He is just treated like a cat, though. Anyways.
Cat. That's weird. I don't know. They're just bro, don't touch that dead animal over there. Just like, homie, he was literally standing and talking
a second ago. Yeah.
Now he is dead. A sentient life has been taken from us.
That cat did my taxes, bro. Like, that's my accountant, dude.
You don't understand, homie. So we've talked enough about the cat, I think.
Yeah, I think we nailed it.
Because the cat is not a glaring detail at all.
No, he's
it's
whatever.
Just an interesting little, like, ooh, he's in both worlds. But our main character was raised by robots. His dad's the, like, Demon King robot.
Yes.
And he finds out soon that his mom is, like, this woman that people worship who's bigger than the stars.
We don't know that for sure. It's heavily implied, but we don't know that.
We don't know that for sure.
It's essentially Steven Universe, bro. Okay?
Nobody
mom's a giant
knows that
woman.
she exists. Yeah, it's true. She is. But anyways, because of his dad, for some reason, he has gravity powers. So that's cool.
Yeah. What do they call it? Ethereum? Something like that? When we meet our character, he's been living on this planet of all robots, and
he's living at Grand Bell Kingdom. It's an amusement park that
hasn't had a visitor. Hasn't had a visitor in 100 years, and our main character girl, who's Happy's owner, I don't know her name. She looks like Lucy from Fairy Tail.
Her name is Rebecca Bluegarden.
Rebecca shows up, and she's a VCuber, which is essentially like a vlogger, like a YouTuber, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I was surprised because as soon as I heard VCube, I was like, are they trying to do like VTuber? Like, no, I'm interested.
It's for sure YouTube. This is going to be
weird. Yeah, no, it's literally just YouTube.
So she's a YouTuber, and she's like...
Yeah. She's a titty streamer.
Yeah, she wants to film a video of her coming to this place and stuff, and she meets our main character, and she's like, why are you the only human here? And he's just like, I don't fucking know. I've never seen another human. He knows what a cat is, apparently, though. He doesn't seem to be at all baffled by the fact that Lucky can talk.
Everyone knows about those things.
Yeah, but he's never seen another human in his life.
Dude, and reminds me of a little show called Adventure Time.
So his goal is to make friends. Like, I think in the like a lot of shonen's characters have very like specific goals. You know, Naruto wants to be like the
he wants
Hokage.
to believe it.
Yeah, believe it. Yeah. Goku just wants to fight stuff. Bleach wants to drink bleach. You know, the main character from Bleach.
Exactly.
So the main character for fucking Eden Zero.
I love how Bleach is like such an easy character to know too.
Oh, it's Ichigo.
Like,
Ichigo.
Strawberry boy. He's got strawberry hair. His name's Ichigo. Boom, done. Easy.
Yeah, Dr. Stone from Dr. Stone wants a stone. But
Stein from Steins Gate.
Yeah, but our main character, he wants to make 100 friends. Like, that's his, like, I'm going to make friends. I've never had friends. Even though he has robot friends, he wants to make human friends.
See, and here's the thing. If that's the main motivation for a goddamn character, how the fuck do we go from that to being like, what is life but a source of joy? And, like, how? It's like, I need to make friends. Darkest topic ever. Titties. And then, like, back to, I need to be friends with everyone. Titties.
Yeah. It's a very simple, like, driving character, like, you know, point or whatever. It's like simple to the point where like it's almost dumb. Like, but I think it's made that way for like the viewing audience. Is this like a
no? See, here's the thing, Juan. Here's the thing. I would believe that if they didn't have the like really intense backstory for a character that's the goofiest, dorkiest little fucking bozo on the team.
You talking about the cat?
Yeah, I'm talking. He has an intense as fuck backstory, and then our motivation for the main character is, I want to be friends, and I'm gonna go up to people, and I'm gonna look grumpy and put out my hand and be like, "Let's be friends." After they've already started being dicks to me for no reason, every single time. Main
characters are also supposed to be blank slates for you to like. Be like, oh, that could be me. This is the blankest, dumbest dude in the world.
He's just like, this is literally the blankest.
Anybody who's watched anime can be like, oh, I can also agree that I've wanted to make friends. Boom, you can become this dumb character. Problem, there it is. Is he deep? No. But I mean, the deepest character here is a cat that got smushed and then brought back to life. So like, I'm not saying it's written beautifully. I'm saying it's probably written for a simpler age group for you to be like, I understand how this works. It's obviously not meant to be thought through. Like,
but then why are there so many titties and existential thoughts? If it's such like a basic 8-year-old fucking idea, why would a 16-year-old want to watch this show? If the main character is such a little fucko,
I don't think it's for 8 years old. I don't think it's for
totally
16-year-olds. It's for that teen. It's for that perfect teen of being like,
I'm still a child, but I also masturbate.
Exactly, and I'm not telling anybody.
Now
I
want to kill.
Yeah,
it's like literally
it's that sweet point where it's like, I'm horny all the time, but I can't tell people I'm horny all the time. And I need to stop being horny. So what do? You pause at any moment in Eden Zero and you just rub one out because that's what this is.
Badass is going to do it for me right now. Let's go.
Let me just pause this and we just play this over and over. Anyways.
So my whole point about yelling was there are so many different things that reach out to different demographics that would be cool in certain contexts. Nothing is in the right context, so it all just kind of comes together in this bizarre mess of anime that I think is exactly why people have a prejudice. Like, if you imagine an anime, since you are an anime watcher, it's going to be different than somebody who hardly knows anything about anime. They know over the top, ridiculous, super weird, like yelling fights, too many titties, show for children. They're like adding Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, and hentai together at all times, right? And they also know that like all main characters are just like obnoxious little fuckos. So they go into this show and it's hitting every single thing, and then it goes chibi all the time, and then they bring in a tiny little robot girl from the future, and the mom is fucking gigantic. Like, every single part about it is quintessential anime. I'm not saying
technically she's from the present. Okay, they go to the past and then they go back to the present.
True.
You got I just want to say, I'm going to call you out when you make a mistake as huge as that, okay?
Totally
Don't
fair.
You talk about Pino like that, you son of a bitch. The second best character in this show.
That's when she came in, man. She was like, yo, what up? I'm from the future. And they were like, cool, so are we.
Yeah, yeah, that was true.
That's literally what it was.
But I do understand. It just, there's so many different things in it. It's like if someone, you know what? The only thing I think that's more anime than this is probably like, what was it called? Cannon Busters. Like that.
I have to disagree. Yasuke.
Which one was that one?
Yeah, exactly. It's the one about Yasuke, the Black Samurai.
Oh, you think that? No, I think Cannon Busters.
It started out, you're like, yeah,
anime.
I'm going to watch this like Japanese historical, cool ass, lasers, robots, magic.
Yeah, but Cannon Busters from the very beginning was just like,
I know.
we're
I totally
insane.
agree.
I forgot about that show. Goddamn. But that, yeah, I agree. It's like this shit is like all the things I'm embarrassed about when it comes to saying like, hey, I like anime, because people automatically assume this. It's just like, oh, it's that big boob chibi, shit, and it's like, fuck, and all those tropes that, again, when I was younger, I probably been like, yeah, that's really funny, but as a grown man, I go, god damn, this sucks. Yeah, so that's the biggest issue with it. It's just like it's all over the place, and it's got a collection of all the things that we just don't like in anime anymore.
Well, it's not even necessarily that we don't like it. It's just that it has something from anime, from so much different anime, that, some things are good, some things are fine in certain contexts, but because of the context of all of these things that we would normally like, we don't really like it. It doesn't fit in here. It just feels like it's too much. It's a mess. There's so much going on. Because I don't really mind any of those tropes depending on what it is. Mm-hmm. I'll watch some trashy stuff that's constant boob and ass shots. I watched Rent a Girlfriend. I loved that show. That was fucking fantastic. The whole outro is just a guy jerking off. So I'm not afraid of any of that shit. It's just I don't know, man. It's a lot of different parts not coming together. Obnoxious characters. I personally don't like the character designs. Mm-hmm. I guess I just don't like the fairy tale guy. My bad. The way
he makes things.
The way he draws stuff.
It is very like that though. Like it is so him. Like as soon as you saw it, you're like, this just looks like that. Like there's no denying that this is absolutely him, which is cool. I mean, he's obviously made his own style, but it's just not a style that's very appealing to us.
And it's pretty episodic overall. I stopped watching. Like, I wanted to fucking stop right when I started. Mm-hmm. But I kept going. I stopped watching after 6 episodes. I did throw a fit in the middle. And I had to text everybody that I knew that watches anime and be like, don't fucking see this, ever. Mm-hmm. Don't watch it. Don't give it any time of day. It's not for my friends.
And if you like it, you're not my friend anymore.
No, I just wanted to save them time because I know that a lot of my friends don't like things like this. So I'm just like, hey, fucking terrible. Don't check it out.
Don't even think about it.
Stay away from it. I'm mad. Don't do it. But that being said, I'm going in with a totally different mindset than somebody else who appreciates a lot of the things that I don't understand all the way.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I didn't have that luxury. I was too far deep by the time that you told me you were going to call it. I was like on episode 10. I was like, well, I mean, I might as well like
just wrap it up.
Finish it. Yeah. So I got to see all of it in its glory. So yeah, okay, so before we got derailed, anyways, Shiki meets up with Rebecca. They become friends and she takes him away from that planet. And yeah, he reveals he has powers like these, I think it's called Ethereum, but he's got this gear and he can like control gravity and like he just essentially can fly and punch the shit out of stuff. He's like super powerful if you think about it. Like
he's absurdly strong and
he just can't be stopped.
He's the main character of a shonen, man.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. This guy just oozes main character vibes. And then they go out into the world because he's never seen the world, and their goal is to find Mother, and he has to become an adventurer, and they have to do little things to make that goal possible. So the first thing they have to do is sign up to be adventurer, and then they have to get a ship to be able to fly out of the Sakura sector to get there. And along the way, they're collecting very easily collect they're the like the rest of the cast, like that's going to join them, and like
here's the blonde guy. Here's this tiny robot from the future. Here's a redheaded lady.
The one that got me was this, like, there's she looks more Asian, but she's like essentially in a kimono and has like a sword, but she's like in the intro, and I was like, I wonder how she's going to show up. She literally just gets brought in by another character. He's like, oh yeah, I brought her, and she's just like, I want to join your crew and help you because I want to fight you, and he's just like, let's do it. I was like, really? They're not even like working for it.
Doesn't matter, man. We're getting there whether you like it or not.
Oh yeah, no, they're doing it. They're doing it like the pace that they're moving at is like so fast. Like, it's like we got to get to that ship.
But also kind of like unnecessarily fast. Like, all these different characters could have just kind of been together in the first place and been like, all right, now we're going to introduce them all over the next like 3 episodes. Instead, they were like, one at a time, and we're going to be like, here's this thing, crazy situation, part of the team, no backstory, just the situation. That's it, please.
I just think that like they didn't really develop that great because I don't care about them, right? And it's like they're not doing a good job making me care about the characters. So like, if say in the 13th episode the blonde haired guy would die, I'd be like, oh, that sucks, but I don't care because all I've known him is 5 episodes on, and he's kind of a dick. So they haven't earned any of that stuff. And
no,
they have earned that for me because they didn't earn it for themselves. It was essentially just given to them. Like, another good point is on the ship that they acquire, again, is just given to them. Like, he goes like, oh, the person that they're, taking it from goes, oh, by the way, this was your grandpa's ship. I'm going to give it to you anyways. I don't need it. This is the Eden Zero. Go take it out into space. And then on that ship, there's a robot that like runs the ship. It's like, yeah, hey, I'm this character. I'm a robot that runs a ship. To get to where we're going, we need 3 other robots that aren't here. We can go find them right now. And so then they go find the second one called Sister. Okay. So the one on the ship is called Witch, and they got to go find Sister. And so they go to a planet, and that's the last arc, right? Finding Sister. And I was like, okay, cool. The 12th episode ends with Sister joining the crew. They're gonna go off in this to find the other 2. I think one of them is called the Hermit, and the other one is called something else. I don't remember what that's called. But the only reason I remember the one that one is called the Hermit is because they're flying into space. There's these giant like just statues, like, oh, that's this statue, and that's that statue, and that's that statue right there. And then someone goes, hey, what's that over there? And they go like, oh, I thought she'd be there. It's the Hermit. She's just there, like already there. Like, so that's like already the introduction of the next character. Like they just gave them everything. Like, they didn't earn any of it. They just have it. And it just blows my mind. If that's like the way the manga runs, it's like, why are you going to be reading this? Like, they're not making me invested into any of this. And the anime is just like, here's all your shit. They're giving us all this shit, I feel like, so they can just go out into space and do their stuff. So that's like,
but how about that bunny girl?
Which bunny girl?
Exactly, right?
Oh, the bunny girl from the past or whatever.
Yeah, man, the hot one.
Yeah, total babe, obviously. Well, yeah, no, babes aside, Trip. Yeah, the show is full of babes. Every girl, every character that's a woman is attractive.
I see that Witch has a good boob window, so that's perfect. If you wanted to see her cleavage, no worries, you got it. She's a robot, you said? Perfect.
Sister's wearing like a nun outfit. Like, she's got she's got the sexy nun. Her power is to heal anything mechanical she can heal. I think also human, but to use her power, she takes off her clothes and she's just like in her bikini. As it's like, and the main character's like, why are you taking off your clothes? Like, I just have to. That's what I have to do. It's like, okay. But there's an episode, the one that I sent you, which was called like The Great Naked Escape or whatever.
Yes.
The one before that was a bunch of VTubers being kidnapped to be sold to this man on a really evil planet, and what he does is he turns them into stone furniture, kind of like Medusa does,
Okay.
So all the VTubers are locked up, and they're being told, hey, this is what's going to happen to you. And then the giant room they're being held with gets flooded with pink foam, and they're like, what's this foam? I shit you not, Trip. All of their clothes start melting off. They just get completely like naked, and they're like, what's going on? They're like freaking out, right? And then the guy that's like, yes, that foam is to clean you and make sure you guys are pure. It's like, it also makes you naked or whatever, because the statues that they're like the furniture they're turned into, there's just naked women. He puts them in the position that he wants, and then he shoots them with the laser beam and turns them into like these rock statues. Someone's like, this is
that guy is my
stuff.
guy. He gets it.
Anyways, all the VTubers are there. She knows all the VTubers because she's so low level.
VCubers. Come on, man.
She knows all of them because she's such a low level one. She only has like 100 followers. These people have millions of followers. And one of them is like a really she's a fatter woman or whatever, and she her channel is eating stuff or whatever, which makes sense. And then when she gets her shit melted off, she has massive tits. No one went without getting the giant boob treatment. Wow. It is crazy. So yeah, everything is hypersexualized, and there is just so many moments where women are put into compromising positions, and they're moaning and they're being electrocuted, and the sound effects and the angles they're shot from. It's just again, if I was a 13-year-old boy, yeah, this would absolutely be the fucking shit. But because I am not, and I don't need to see this, I could go watch actual porn if I wanted to.
How much of Full Metal Panic Fumoffu did you watch?
All of it.
Good. So you remember the episode where this same thing happened, but it was good.
Yeah, it was entertaining. Yeah.
Because it was it wasn't, oh no, our clothes are melting off. It was, holy shit, we're all gonna fucking die. What do we do? I don't know. We gotta just address death. We gotta do our final wishes. Oh fuck, dude. And then it turns out that whatever it was just made their clothes dissolve.
Yeah.
And then they're like, whoopsie daisy, we're naked now. Everything's fine. It was just a big goofy episode, just like all the other epides. It just doesn't land for me in this cartoonish anime. I don't know.
In that same episode, they decide to use the foam to melt a glass window that's really high up because it melted glass, apparently, because it melted some girls' glasses.
Yeah, sure.
And the only way they could do that is they had to make a pyramid. So there's a pyramid of naked women, and then they're all at the top and they get through or whatever. Eventually, someone uses an EMP. I hate when they explain what EMP is. I know what EMP is. Stop doing with that.
What is it?
It's it's an electromagnetic pulse for this fucking.
Thank you.
You know what it is, but
yeah, sure.
Then all the girls come out and they're all dressed in I can only describe them as Halloween outfits, sexy nurse, sexy wizard, sexy zombie or whatever. And there's
devil.
He's we got out, and then there was a room full of costumes, and we all wore this. Here, we got you one. Here's your bunny costume or whatever. And they're like, oh, thank you. I was like, you fucking lazy shits. Anyways, yeah, it just is a little much, dude. It's just not the business. I mean, when you told me you were going to stop, I was like, I understand. I can't, there's nothing from the point that I am at that can justify me telling you hey man, you should stick around and see what happens, because nothing was really worth it.
Here's the thing here. I don't think that this was supposed to be for you and me in general. Yeah. Not at all. But, according to my Anime List's reviews, you either love this show or you hate it. The only reviews are 1 and 10. That's it. No other rankings. Wow,
no middle ground, huh?
Nothing. It's either the best show they've ever fucking seen, or it doesn't make any sense why anybody would like this. So
I don't think I'd give this, if I was on that scale, I wouldn't give this a 1, because there's that one animated scene
there's some really good animation. I will say the best things about this, there's some really good animation
when they animate,
when they decide to animate. Because I was so frustrated watching, I can't remember if it was the first or second episode, but just watching it and literally counting a full minute out where nothing happened besides shots where it didn't require much animation at all. It was either just tracking the character, or it was, okay, everybody's yelling in this scene, so we're going to put these giant red and yellow boxes above them, and we're going to make half of them big, the other half small, and then swap it back and forth so it looks like stuff's going on. We're going to make it every single thing was just nothing. And then after that full minute of zero effort, we got a fully animated shot that, honestly, the line work was pretty bad, but whatever. A fully animated shot of Rebecca Bluegarden being all sad, popping her tits in your face. I'm just sitting there like, dude, okay, I get it. Your boobs are out. That's fantastic. Good for you. But why are you the only one that gets animated when there's like a lot of stuff going on? In most fight sequences, instead of it being a fight sequence, it's screaming, green glow, cut to black, and then like a green oval appears. And then a really intense, good-looking artwork shot of like 10 dudes all flying with our main character doing a punch. And then that punch gets like a big-ass title. It's just like a slow-ass sequence of nothing happening, trying to trick your mind into, this is exciting! Look at how many people are exploding! Look at these colors! Whoa! But nothing has been animated. It's a dude standing in the middle of a bunch of dudes, but now they're all floating because of his gravity magic. And none of it's animated. They're all just kind of like hovering in space. So it looks even dumber because there's no reference. They could be anywhere. It doesn't matter where they are. They're getting gravity blasted right now. So they don't need to adhere to regular physics. It's the most low effort shit. And so is all this like porn in this thing. It's such low effort to put all these sexy things in there because all they're doing is just like drawing boobs and asses. Not even like in any kind of way that makes them feel like, oh, they spent extra time on this. It's just like, oh no, it's just, another one of those ass shots. Just throw it in there. Copy it over from the last episode. I don't know, man. The show just screams lazy. And I hate that. It feels like it's finding its footing as it's being written.
Yeah, and I think you were telling me, because I was like, again, no experience with Fairy Tail. I was like, this makes me, because I've heard just people say, oh, Eden Zero is just Fairy Tail but in space. That's all. I've heard that several times, and I was like, it makes me wonder what Fairy Tail is all about, because people really like it. I've seen people get tattoos about it. Like you have to have so much fucking love for them to get it tattooed on you, and then and you were telling me, which baffled me, which actually threw me through a loop, that Kate, who is a huge fan of Fairy Tail, has come on the show to praise it, admitted that the first part of Fairy Tail, like the first bit of it, sucked. Like she hated it or whatever. But then it got really good. It got good near later. And we were saying, like, maybe this is the Eden Zero treatment. Maybe this is the only way they got us how to do it. Like, it sucks in the beginning and eventually it gets really good. But I'm not in the business of like waiting for that to pay off, because I want to be entertained now, not later,
Yeah. Yup. But I don't know, man. Fuck it. Who cares? I'm not watching anymore. I'm done with it. I'm excited to never watch it again. If somebody's like, bro, you gotta give it a chance until like this point. Fuck it. I don't care. I didn't like the first 6 episodes. You don't get my attention. You don't get my time. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I'm already 12 deep. I'm super stoked for whenever the second half of this fucking first season comes out. I'll be talking about it on my own podcast.
Dude, you're gonna have your solo cast that's just about Eden Zero.
Yeah.
We're gonna analyze every character from this show, and then each episode's like 4 minutes long.
Yeah. Fucking but 2 minutes of intro and then 2 minutes of outro. So
well, yeah, it's a full in-depth analysis about each character. There should only be an intro and an outro.
Obvi.
I don't think any of them have in-depth characters.
That's all there really is to Eden Zero. It's just it's not really for us. I don't know who it's for. I don't really want to recommend it to anybody, personally. It's just, it was bad, but it wasn't, again.
No, it's not the worst thing in the world.
It's not the worst thing we've seen.
I just wanted to be bitchy and whiny, and I really didn't have a good time, and it wasn't easy for me to watch. It was pretty easy for me to watch just because I was sick and I was able to turn off my brain and be like, cool, it's just kind of playing and there it is, kind of thing. Like, it was just, my brain was already numb, so it had no real effect. I'm sitting over here just like, all right, so if the observer of Eden Zero is actually the mother of the cosmos, then
there's a fucking narrator.
Oh, it's like thank you. Okay, first off, fucking thank you for bringing that up, because I remembered watching it and being like, this narrator is the worst part of this, and I completely forgot about it. It's also forgettable. It's the worst part, and it's forgettable.
Yeah, I think I want to say it's episode 2 or 3 starts with like two people in like spacesuits walking, and they find Rebecca's V cube, and they're like, "What is this?" And there's like, "Oh, it's," and they look at their database. It's like an old recording device from like 20,000 years in the past, and they like give a little prayer or whatever. And then I think it's that same episode we have like this narrator just pop up, and she's also like wearing, I don't know, like a Asian inspired kimono kind of thing. She's like, "Hey, how's it going? I'm so and so, the narrator of this story." Doesn't really matter though, but here you go, Eden Zero. And she pops up, I think, 2 more times, and it really is just like, the fuck are you doing here? What is this? Who are you? What's going on? Time travel. It's also time travel. Yep. Because of no reason. There's space dragons. God, there's so many bad things.
The fucking space like at the beginning, and apparently it's a big point. I don't fucking know. But at the very beginning, main character is a child looking up at the sky with his robot daddies, and they see a shooting star, and it's like,
he said, "Hey, it's a comet."
Blowing, and they're like, "Yeah, it's clearly a comet." Like, or hang on, hear me out. Or it's a fucking dragon. And the kid's like, "Is it a dragon?" She's like, "I mean, I'm just saying that, but like, maybe."
He's like, "Get up there and go find out." He's like, "How?" I was like, "You stupid kid." I was like, "Tell him, you know it's a dragon.
Tell him." Anyways, it is a dragon. It's a giant fucking celestial gold dragon robot. Robot. What's also, and they think later on when they need to get a better ship, they're like, "Yeah, you need a really good ship." They get the Eden Zero. They still need the 3 other people to make the Eden Zero perfect to get there. Like, because apparently there's like a giant ring of dragons out there in space. So like, if anybody gets near them, they just get fucked up. I was like, what is going on? Who made these dragons? Also, they're like dragons, but they're not robots, and they eat planets and shit, and they take time away from stuff. Also, God, there's so many bad things. Also, well, I think the problem is none of these things in particular are bad, but they don't give us enough world building to care about it or contextualize anything. We're just like, okay, that exists, whatever.
Yeah, that's a great point, because we get introduced to his ability, and Happy says, no, Rebecca goes like, "What is that?" Happy goes like, "Oh, he's using this specific gear." He goes, "It's really old technology, but he's got it," or whatever. He's like, "Okay, cool." Later on, we find out that same technology is kind of everywhere, also in her guns that don't kill people, they just kind of stun them. Mm-hmm. And then he gets educated on what that is. He's like, "Yeah, it's like, it's just kind of this super scientific stuff." It's like, it's kind of hard to explain. And Happy goes like, "Just think of it as magic." So it's just magic, right? And then later, they get Weiss, which is like the professor in the past, the blonde boy. He also has one of these, but his does a different thing. His like upgrades any machinery. The samurai chick that shows up later, she has one too that makes a fucking sword. Also, Rebecca's taking a shower in the fucking pool, and she awakens her, and she can like shoot laser beams. I was like, okay, cool. So this really niche thing that it sounded like no one really has or does, you guys all fucking have. Like, what are the fucking odds? Like, come on. Like, really? Like, how lazy is that?
Oh my God.
It's fucking absurd, dude. Like, they didn't even try.
You know what? I'm okay with shitting on this show. I hate it. I think that it's the worst show that we've had to watch in a while, and we've watched some bad stuff. I had a better time with Way of the House Husband because at least I liked the jokes. At least I liked the jokes.
Wow, I can't say that. I hated Way of the House Husband.
Yeah, that's how much I hated this.
That's crazy.
There were 2 good sequences of animations I saw. I didn't like a single character. I didn't like any of their designs. I didn't like the music. I didn't like the powers. I didn't like anything. I fucking hated this. I'm the most bitter person about this show. Nothing worked for me on any level at all, except for Happy's backstory, which I fucking hated because it didn't match the rest of the show's tone. It didn't match anything.
I'm so glad we kept talking, because we were about to be done. I was like, nah, let's just really dig it in a little bit more.
Well, I'm like, yeah, I was totally ready to be done, but I'm like, yeah, no, you brought up a couple of other things that I hated about the show that remind me that I'm just going to talk about how much I fucking hated this show. It was such a waste of time. I was going crazy. This is how fast my brain was going. Each second of the show, I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, 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 oh my God. And then... I just started shooting texts like a fucking madman. I'm like, you don't understand. Everyone has an ass. It doesn't even matter.
They got asses on their fronts. They got asses on their backs. Their backs have asses. Their butts have asses. Yeah, man. This was a bad show. There's a lot of dumb stuff. There's shit that wasn't earned. There's no character development. A lot of boobs and butts, though. Can't take that away from them.
So if you want to watch the show that made me feel like I was
crazy,
gonna fucking go crazy, yeah, you should check it out. You should see why, and then be like, Chris is a drama queen. Fuck that guy.
I do think that, like, hey man, like, gun to my head, if I had to watch another season of this or another season of Way the House Husband, I would watch this in a heartbeat. So that's just where I stand. Like, I'd rather watch this. That's it though. There's nothing really else to say about Eden Zero besides, don't waste your time. Go watch Fairy Tail instead. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
We can go do that. Like, I'm gonna fucking from now on just tell people to watch Fairy Tail instead of watching this if it ever comes up, because Kate loves it and Kate's not too crazy, so
Honestly, man, yeah. Fairy Tail's probably doing a lot better thing. Since we were finally talking about Fairy Tail again, there was a reference. Of course, we can't go without references. It is necessary to do. And I liked the reference in this because it was just a quick little, like, we're here, we're done. Essentially, main character's like, hey, we joined an adventurers guild and shit. I thought everything was going to be pretty different here. And then Rebecca's like, bro, what did you think it was going to be like? He's like, I don't know, just different. And then it shows the fairy tale characters in the background from behind. Like,
oh, really?
They were walking out of the restaurant that they were eating in. So it was like a very clear, they also did some Adventurers Guild ass explore the world type bullshit.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, I do think that's pretty funny. I know that Shiki also kept doing a thing where he kept being like, yeah, I'm the warrior class or I'm the thief class, kind of thing. I was like, or he was like very, very enamored when he saw ninjas or samurais and stuff. I was like, this does give very
some weeb
fairy
shit,
tale
dude.
vibes. Yeah, like. Anyways, man, that's it. That's Eden Zero. We're done. It's gone. It's out of our lives forever. I don't know what we're doing next week. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, there are a couple of options. Maybe we're gonna watch The Witcher. Who knows?
It's a movie, but by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, just want to let you know. I didn't know. Cool. That's it. If you like our theme song, check out Not Mars on Spotify. Trip, where can you find us?
Facebook, look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. If you want to send us a tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast under it.
And you could shoot us an email, instantRamenPodcast@gmail.com. Please give us a written essay on why I am so fucking wrong about hating Eden Zero. Please give me that. And when we're not sick, when we can finally do it, we're going to get back to streaming. I'm not going to plug it this time because we never fucking do it. But we do stream sometimes when we're recording on Wednesday nights.
And then you just plugged it.
I didn't say where it was, though, so who cares? Anyways, thank you guys for listening to both of us kind of bitch about this show that we didn't like. It was an entertaining time. I'm glad we got to talk about this. But I would have rather just hung out with you instead of watch this.
Yeah, for sure. This is bye from Juan.
I'll see you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water.